Hello! So you want to know how I made 13,000 gold in under 8 hours? Well, to get that much gold, I'm going to show you the run I do. It's pretty simple. I go around and I collect the iron. I'll collect other things as I go as well. I don't just fill up my inventory with iron. I know. Iron's worth a lot on most servers right now. But its price fluctuates and it will go down as more and more people flood the market with it. So I diversify, right, in my gathering. So I'll start at that iron node, then I turn right and I run up this iron node. And of course, I grab the iron as fast as possible, and then I'll do circuits and grab everything else while I'm waiting on the iron to respawn. The reason for this is other players will come by and try and snag the iron, right? Now the good news is, you pick a time of day when the server's not super busy, you can get this whole area to yourself, or any other area you want to do this run in, right? And yes, iron is the big gold maker, as you've probably heard from other videos, but it won't always be. Now, what will always be worth money is going to be the tier 1 resources. Kind of weird, huh? It's not usually how it goes in MMOs, but this game requires so many tier 1 resources to make the higher tier items that this is what people are going to end up buying. They need so few of the higher tier resources that they can just go out and get that themselves without having to spend gold on it. Right? It's very annoying to gather thousands and thousands of low tier 1 resources. So as you're grabbing the iron, you see there's mushrooms and life blue which you can gather in this area. And we're just going to do a circuit here. We'll go in a full loop, and then I'll show you some other places outside that. Now I didn't spend a full 8 hours gathering resources, right? So I'll gather the resources till my inventory is full. Then I stop and I go and I sell everything. Now, I already know ahead of time because I've already searched the markets which market I should be selling these items on. And it's definitely not Everfall. Everfall is where you go to check what the current prices are expected to be, because that's where people mostly sell their stuff because it's a central area. But usually Everfall taxes are really high. There's all these other things going on in Everfall, and a lot of players don't like to burn their Azoth going to Everfall to get the stuff when they can find it for a similar price in their city. So you gotta do the research, go between the cities to see what you want. So I'll finish this run when my inventory fills up. At that point, I sell the items, and then I go farm Azoth. And then I come back and I do one more inventory run before I stop for the night. So I spent 4 hours a night testing this, right? Sunday and Monday I did this. And today I have 15,000 gold. I started with, so when I started the experiment I had 2,000 gold. And now, today I have 15,000 gold. So I wanted to show you how I did it. And as you can see, we're kind of following this path around and collecting the iron in a big circle. We'll continue this circle for a full loop, and I'll start cutting the video a little bit more, just so you can see the whole path. That way when you get over here, you kind of have an idea of what's going on. Now, me releasing this video and people watching it means anybody on your server that's seen this may come over and do this. And of course, I'm not the only one that knows about this area. I've seen other people over here running the same circuit when the servers are busier. But during slow times, whatever that is for your server, this is a great place to go. Now, of course, you can go anywhere that you can find iron that you can just run in a circle and gather. However, whatever your favorite iron farming place is, you're going to find lots of other things to farm in the area. And so I'll kill things and skin them for the skin. Skin, like I said, tier 1 resources are worth a lot. So I'll cut down trees, I'll farm stone, and then of course I'll farm any little gathering resource that's lightweight. Try not to get too much hide and too much stone or too much wood, because then that blocks my inventory room for iron. I want to do at least 2 passes of iron. Now the reasoning for these 2 passes of iron is that'll get me close to 1,000 iron. You really don't want to put more than 1,000 of anything up at a time. Now the reason behind not putting more than 1,000 up at a time is because you don't want to flood the market. So what will happen is if you put too many items on the market at one time, so let's say you threw up like 5,000 iron at one time to try and sell it all, and you undercut the people in your area so that you can get the sales, right? Well then somebody's going to pop up a little less, just 1,000 or a little less, and undercut you. Then somebody's going to undercut them, and that'll cause the prices to drop really low to the point where you can't make a profit anymore, and your 5,000 iron is not going to move. Pop 1,000 up there, it looked like a good deal. Even if the crafters aren't buying it, what's going to happen is the people you're undercutting are going to come back and look, and they're going to be like, oh, well, we can make a profit by buying that and reselling it at our price. So then they'll buy it up. And then once it's bought up, you just drop another 1,000 on the market, right, at the same price. And it happens again. And that way you're not contributing to lowering the price of the market. Now, of course, unless you want to lower the price of the market because you're actually wanting to buy. But I don't recommend that. That comes with its own set of risks, and this video is not really about how to game the market right now. This is about how to make your gold easily without too much time and investment. If you spend about 8 hours a week doing a run similar to this in wherever you want to do your run at, you end up making enough gold to afford a house and pay the insane tax on the house, right? I don't know how, hopefully they adjust the taxes on the house, because I don't know how long anybody can actually own a house. We're at 2,000 gold a week. And that's kind of insanely high price, especially with the limited amount of gold in this game. So from my experience in this game, through questing and running up through levels, is I gained very little gold. Very little from the game. Doing the different in-game things you can do other than selling to other players. But how does that work? Because the other players have to be in the same boat, right? They're not making much gold. So what's going on is I put stuff up for sale. Other players get poorer and poorer by buying my stuff, or other players' stuff, however, right? And then from there, if I just go out and buy a house with that gold and pay weekly taxes with that gold's not going back to other players. So we're creating a pyramid type scheme here, right? The whole marketplace is a pyramid scheme where we're just pulling gold from poor players and funneling it into the players that have all the resources. So as new players join the server, they want to buy stuff to level up quicker. Then the veteran players selling the stuff make the gold, but then they don't most of them aren't going to turn around and rebuy from the marketplace. They're just going to go out and farm what they want and then use the gold they made on items such as housing and faction stores and stuff. So in this run, you see me going around the hills and stuff in this area after I've cleared the iron while I'm waiting for it to respawn. You continue on up the hill a little ways, there's a cave that you can go into that has gold in it and saltpeter. So that's really cool, right? You can go in and gather these resources. So we'll grab some saltpeter while we're in here, and then we'll go and grab the gold. Now, depending on your server, gold's probably not worth anything, but saltpeter is actually worth quite a bit. You also need it to make gunpowder and other things like that, so it does sell pretty well. The reason for mining the gold, even though it doesn't sell well, is, well, you may need it to level up crafting. It definitely helps you level up your mining. Now, if you're not high enough level to skill to mine the gold, don't worry about it. I don't sell the gold, there's no profit in it. The gold is actually probably be a loss if you take my time invested in getting this gold versus how much I'm going to get for selling it. I'd really, out of these nodes here, from 2 runs, I'm gonna make, I don't know, 10 gold off of this. Gold's really not worth anything. But gold veins, silver veins, the soft metal veins give gems, right? And gems can sell pretty well, say like amber. Or you can use it to level up your gem crafting, things like that, and then attach it to your own gear. So then you don't have to buy it from another player yourself, right? And that's another thing, in-game gear. Once you hit in-game gear, you may be able to buy from other players, and that'll give them a nice gold boost at the time, if you have the gold to buy it. But then you have your gear. You don't need any more gear beyond that once you have your best gear. Now, you may want multiple sets of your best gear, so you can try playing different roles whenever you want by respecking. But that's still limited. Once you have those, all you have to do is repair them. You no longer need to keep buying or upgrading or anything like that. And since this marketplace is based off of having to buy items, once you no longer have to buy items, the marketplace is going to die. So take advantage now to make gold as soon as possible. Once the servers stagnate, there will be no more gold to make. At some point, the only way to make gold will be to just run repeat quests, which, if you haven't noticed, only give like 6 to 10 gold a quest. Insanely low. You're not going to be able to really make bank that way. And then, of course, you're going to not be able to afford the upkeep on your house, and that'll be that. Another thing about this area is the hills on the opposite side. I don't go to it in this video, but I will tell you the hills on the opposite side of the hill, you see me going up in this video, right? Does have more of those air motes on it, so you can get some air motes. They're worth a decent amount. Sell 100 of them. You can make 50 or 60 gold, sometimes more depending on the price of the day. There's also different ways to manipulate the market and make money through knowing which days to list stuff for 1 day at a time, which days to list stuff for 3 days at a time, and so on, and which days just to hold on to your items and not sell for. If you want a video on how to do all of that, let me know in the comments below, and I'll make you a video on how to manipulate the marketplace to your advantage. This is something I have a lot of experience with in MMOs for making money quickly. This is how I played a game called Entropy Universe. I don't know if y'all ever heard of it. It is a real world money game where you can put money into the game, and then when you're done playing the game, you can cash out whatever funds you have in the game, and they'll give you real money back for it, as long as you meet a minimum requirement. That sounds great and all, right? But the game is set up specifically to take your money and churn it. So to be able to keep playing the game and get ammo for your guns or whatever it is you enjoy doing in the game, because there is a whole lot to do in the game, I highly recommend you checking that game out. As I said, it's free to play, and you don't have to put any money into it to play it. If you learn to manipulate the marketplace like I did in that game, you would never have to put any money into it, and you can play it whatever you want. But we're not here to talk about other games, right? We're here to talk about New World. So if you want to see how I play the market in New World and make gold easily, let me know in the comments below. And here real quick, I will show you in just a second where I'm at so that you know where this spot is in case you like this area and you want to try it out. You can find your own areas. Just kind of look around. If you run into a nice clump of resources that you don't see any other players at and all the resources are spawned, that means it's probably not as well known, and maybe you could set your own run up there. That will help you make money easier without having to compete with people. Now, I will tell you, this spot during prime time will be competitive. There will be people running through here all the time getting stuff. There are people here doing the circuit. You just have to find an area, figure out when's the best time to get on, figure out when you need to farm it. For me, it's like 6 in the morning, but that's just a way to keep from competing with other people. You could also run here and compete with people. You just have to spend more time because they're taking half the resources at least. If it's only one guy, it'll be half the resources. If it's more than one guy, then it splits however fast y'all can do this. The better tools you have, the better skill you have at it, the faster you can collect the resources, the more you will end up getting. Well, that's enough rambling from me today. I'm sure you want to know where this place is. So, here it is on the map. I'm in Monarch Bluffs, in this area here. Go on top of the hill, and this is where you run the circuit. It's pretty simple. If you enjoyed the video, smash that like button. Have an awesome day.